Hello and welcome to Giant Strides, where we celebrate the people and progress transforming our world. This weekly program is proudly sponsored by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC, under the leadership of Engineer Jennifer Adihije. My name is Dorothy Monday. Today, we dive into the remarkable work of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited as a key player in revolutionizing Nigeria's electricity sector. With a staggering 500 billion naira invested in transmission infrastructure, NDPHC is bridging the gap between power generation and the homes of millions. We'll be talking with engineer Babayo, Executive Director of Networks, to uncover these strategies, challenges, and innovations driving this energy revolution. Let's take a dive in.
From powering Nigeria, lighting the way. For 20 years, NDPHC has been the spark of progress. Since 2005, NDPHC has powered Nigeria's dreams through the National Integrated Power Project, with 10 mega power plants and a vision for progress. 1 year ago, a new spark ignited Nigeria's power sector. Engineer Jennifer Adihije took the helm as MD and CEO of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. From generation to transmission to distribution, our core values drive us: professionalism, integrity, teamwork, creativity, accountability, and respect. With 85% of generation projects, 90% of transmission, and 96% of distribution projects complete, we're building a stronger, electrified Nigeria. With vision and innovation, Engineer Adihije and her team have electrified progress. In just 1 year, she led the restoration of 5 turbine units, adding 625 megawatts to our national grid capacity, powering homes and dreams. Her leadership has driven sustainable energy solutions, empowering communities and transforming lives across Nigeria. Recognized globally as a top 100 influential voice of 2025, Engineer Adihije is charging toward a brighter, stronger Nigeria, aligned with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Join us in celebrating 20 years of powering progress.
A pivotal meeting took place at the corporate headquarters of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, NDPHC, in Abuja, where Ajibola Akindele, Managing Director of Schneider Electric West Africa, and his team engaged with Engineer Jennifer Adihije, MD CEO of NDPHC, and her executive team. The discussion centered on strengthening the strategic partnership between Schneider Electric, a global leader in energy management and automation, and NDPHC, Nigeria's largest power generation company with over 4,000 megawatts of installed capacity. Both leaders explored innovative ways to advance NDPHC's revolutionary energy initiatives, aiming to enhance energy security and optimize power infrastructure across Nigeria. This collaboration underscores a shared commitment to leveraging private sector expertise and public sector assets to address Nigeria's pressing energy challenges. The meeting builds up on NDPHC's ongoing efforts under Engineer Adihije's leadership to transform Nigeria's power sector through operational efficiency and stakeholder engagement. Appointed in August 2024, Adihije has prioritized asset optimization and partnerships, as evidenced by her recent tours of NDPHC facilities. Meanwhile, Schneider Electric, under Akindele's direction, brings extensive experience in energy efficiency and sustainable solutions, supporting 60% of Lagos State's electricity needs and driving initiatives like smart city development in Bonny. While specific outcomes of the meeting remain undisclosed, The collaboration signals a promising step towards integrating advanced energy management systems and innovative technologies to bridge electricity access gaps, particularly in undeserved communities, aligning with President Bola Tinubu's vision for a robust and reliable power sector. Electricity, it is the heartbeat of modern life. From powering homes to driving businesses, it's what keeps Nigeria moving forward. NDPHC is not just building power lines, they are building hope, opportunity, and a brighter future for millions. To unpack this energy revolution, we are joined by Engineer Babayo, Executive Director of Networks at the Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited, NDPHC. He is responsible for the company's electricity distribution network. He has extensive experience in power systems with a background in engineering and management. Engineer Bello Babayo's career includes roles at the Yola Electricity Distribution Company, Jos Electricity Distribution Company, and the Power Holding Company of Nigeria. He has managed projects related to transmission, sub-transmission, and distribution systems. He also led a team that simulated the entire Nigerian network for load flow analysis. In addition to his technical expertise, he holds an MBA and is skilled in project management. He also has experience with gas turbines, having been trained and certified by Alstom and General Electric. He speaks on the bigger picture, the 500 billion naira invested in transmission infrastructure and how this is changing lives for Nigerians.
Distribution infrastructure is one of the most critical parts of the value chain, because whatever you keep on generating but you cannot evacuate through the distribution medium is a very big challenge in the grid performance. So as a result of that, we do deploy a lot of innovations in the area of scoping and identifying what we need to do in investment into the distribution side. As I speak to you, we have our field project managers which are located across the country, and they do give us inputs into what we are expected to do in terms of distribution projects. Like you are all aware, the modern power systems has to do with grid studies, grid simulation, carrying out short circuit analysis and some other steady state analysis, so that the software will not give you the visibility of what type of investment you are going to do and at the right place. Bearing in mind, viability and visibility in collaboration with the distribution companies is very key in achieving that. So deployment of smart technology using system simulation, system studies, and even sensitivity analysis, where if there is an outage on a particular feeder that is taking significant amount of megawatts, what impact is going to have on the overall grid, and same as on the 330 or 132 kV line of transmission networks.
With the Lafayette 330 132-33 kV transmission substation commissioned in 2022, it has been described as a critical component of Nigeria's power infrastructure. Engineer Bello explained the challenges NDPHC faced during its construction and how it has improved power distribution in Nasarawa State and surrounding areas.
Yes, Lafayette Station is one of our critical transmission infrastructure projects constructed by NDPHC 100%. Initially, from beginning, they were having a very low voltage, which is, they were on a 33 kV feeder, Akwanga feeder, and it's close to 100 kilometers of route length. So as a result, the community suffers a very low voltage profile and is affecting socio-economic development within the domain. So as a result of that, NDPHC intervened through the deployment of 2x150, 2x60 MVA, and a 75 megawatt reactor. And that enhances the voltage profile of the community, enhance power transfer capability, and create more socio-economic activities within that community. And the issues, like you mentioned, we had, yes, of course, there are other community engagement issues, especially the acquisition of land and maybe farmlands and even the sites. But with the intervention of the state government, they were able to give us the required land, and that makes us to deploy our resources. Remember, Lafia Station is situated at the central because it's coming from the main line hub is from Calabar, Ikodekpene, Ugwaji, then to Makodi, then to Jos. But it's a tee-off which is turn-in, turn-out arrangement to Lafia Station, meaning we have option of even feeding the Federal Capital Territory through the Lafia Station with the turn-in, turn-out arrangement we put in place. So that's where we are.
On stranded generation, he identified specific measures implemented to address and ensure more efficient evacuation of power to distribution networks.
You know, before you put on a power plant, you must have carried out studies.
Yeah.
And the modern power systems of today, the studies has to do with software. You impute all the variables that has to do with generation parameters, and at the same time put in variables on the transmission corridor, which is the evacuation corridor. Mm-hmm. In the process of doing that, you do so many analyses to identify what you need to do in the area of evacuation. Power systems, I always keep telling people, is when you look at the human anatomy today, the heart, which is pumping blood around through the arteries. The heart, you can look at it as a power plant, for example. Then the arteries and some other veins are like the transmission lines. The smaller ones are the distribution lines. So whatever you keep doing at the generation side, if a transmission corridor is not being provided, then there will be stranded capacity.
Yeah.
So what we do from inception is, as the generations have been sited where there is a gas facility, where there are enough gas to power the power plant, we equally look at the corridor or the window on how we are going to evacuate those facilities. So they are going hand in hand. But because of financial constraint, some of the transmission networks could not be completed 100%. Some are still ongoing. Some have been planned and awaiting implementation. So what we do, we always make sure that as generation projects are being cited, the transmission infrastructures are being modeled to see how the impact of the evacuation is going to be in terms of ensuring a steady and stable grid.
With the Electricity Act enabling bilateral business transactions, he spoke on how NDPHC, under his oversight of networks, is fostering partnerships with distribution companies to improve last-mile electricity delivery.
I keep on telling people Electricity Act is one of the greatest assets or documents that further disintegrate the sector into more and more business opportunities. The Act has enabled the state to participate in all the three value chains, meaning the generation, the transmission, and the distribution. But it has to be regulated by the state at some certain level. Then at another higher level by the federal regulator, which is Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. So what we do, the whole idea, because of the disintegration of the power sector, there are more of collaboration between both parties. While the regulator is making arrangements for delineation of assets into different subcos, we NDPHC, because we have a lot of investment across all the distribution companies, we interface together with them through identifying the projects that we delivered and how we are going to work together as a team to deliver energy to the last man within a community or an environment. So we have been working closely with the state governments and some other key stakeholders in ensuring we deliver the mandate of Mr. President towards ensuring quality, reliable, and efficient electricity to Nigerians.
Speaking on distribution challenges, he elaborated on the primary obstacles NDPHC faces in maintaining and expanding distribution infrastructure, particularly in regions affected by vandalism or insurgency.
Yes, unlike the transmission facilities, where we have designed a framework of deploying a smart monitoring system, where because if a particular line is completely off the grid, for example, a 330 kV line, 132 kV line, if it is off the grid, the whole grid will be destabilized. The distribution on is also related to that. But we have been collaborating with the locals, and we have been engaging securities in preventing vandalism. NDPHC cannot do it alone. There must be proper coordination and collaboration between the host communities that are enjoying the supply together with the distribution company. Because the idea of NIPP is we do projects and we hand over to a distribution company that is operating within the franchise. So it is now also the responsibility of the distribution company to work together with the community in making sure that they can deal with the locals or vigilante or any other security outfit within the locality to safeguard the equipments. Because these are multi-million naira equipments. If you vandalize a 500 kVA transformer that is feeding maybe up to 200 or 300 people, you render them out of supply. And vandalism comes in different forms. The incomer cables of a substation, when vandalized, can render the whole community out of supply. And so also the transformer oil, which is the insulation oil that is inside the transformer, when vandalized, can render community because it will affect the winding, sometimes leading to insulation breakdown. So you can see there are so many components because it is sited within a distribution company, franchise area of operation, so they need to do extra surveillance in the prevention of those vandalisms. We, our own, is to the scoping, identify the gaps and the bottlenecks where they need us to intervene. Then we now deploy our resources in making sure that the grid distribution side is closed.
He discussed the innovative technologies being integrated into NDPHC's distribution network to enhance efficiency and reduce losses and the impact so far.
Yes, at the distribution level, no. But at the transmission level, yes. There's what we call SCADA, which is supervisory control and data acquisition. The Nigerian electricity supply industry, NEC as a regulator, has mandated all the GENCOs to deploy supervisory control and data acquisition. That will be able to give them a visibility of the grid and will be able to give them how the grid is performing. They will be able to implement load forecast, and that determines what amount of energy you are expected to wheel out, or what amount of megawatt you are supposed to generate some days or weeks ahead. At the transmission side, the supervisory control and data acquisition is in place. It's about to be implemented. We have done the scoping, we have identified the telecommunication links needed, and we have identified the critical components that will link up to sub-national control centers, where at the NCC side, there will be visibility of whatever plant is on or out. If a unit is down, the SCADA system will now tell them. So there will be proper monitoring and control of each and every component. But at the distribution side, there is no provision for SCADA yet. It is going to be a synchronized operation, maybe while the generation side is being done, the NCC are there having visibility of the overall grid and the performance at a particular time. Then that of the distribution will be done. So it has to be a top-bottom approach.
It's a channel.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
yes.
On community engagement, he expressed how NDPHC is ensuring that host communities benefit from distribution projects and role they play in aligning these initiatives with the developmental goals outlined in the Electricity Act Amendment Bill 2024.
Normally, what we normally do in our projects, if there is any need of a project in any of the host community, they normally write to us to notify us that, okay, we need an intervention, so an area. It's official, it should be documented. So now we pick up the report, we assign the field project managers, which are across the country, to go to that particular host community and identify their energy need. We do it in such a way that they carry what we call load assessment. Load assessment, house to house, checking what will be their consumption and what will be their projected or expected energy, and even suppress or potential loads that will be coming. So it is based on that we develop our own framework on what investment we need to do into the host community. And we have been working closely with the host community, with the intervention of the leadership of the community, the youth of the community, and we deploy our resources in making sure it makes it even easier, because the power plant is there, and for any power plant, there must be a transmission station. So they are very close to the power supply. And not only good power supply, it's going to be a qualitative and more reliable power supply. So we have been relating with them in making sure that we deploy the right resources into the community so that the whole idea is collaboration with the community. We listen to them every day.
From powering Nigeria, lighting the way. For 20 years, NDPHC has been the spark of progress. Since 2005, NDPHC has powered Nigeria's dreams through the National Integrated Power Project, with 10 mega power plants and a vision for progress. 1 year ago, a new spark ignited Nigeria's power sector. Engineer Jennifer Adihije took the helm as MD and CEO of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. From generation to transmission to distribution, our core values drive us: professionalism, integrity, teamwork, creativity, accountability, and respect. With 85% of generation projects, 90% of transmission, and 96% of distribution projects complete, we're building a stronger, electrified Nigeria. With vision and innovation, Engineer Adihije and her team have electrified progress. In just 1 year, she led the restoration of 5 turbine units, adding 625 megawatts to our national grid capacity, powering homes and dreams. Her leadership has driven sustainable energy solutions, empowering communities and transforming lives across Nigeria. Recognized globally as a top 100 influential voice of 2025, Engineer Adihije is charging toward a brighter, stronger Nigeria, aligned with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Join us in celebrating 20 years of powering progress.
From the drawing board to the field, NDPHC is powering a brighter, more connected Nigeria. Their work reminds us that progress isn't just about infrastructure, it's about people. And that's the story of NDPHC, a story of innovation, resilience, and hope. As they continue to light up Nigeria, one thing is clear: the future is bright. Thank you for joining us on Powering Nigeria's Future. Until next time, stay connected. My name is Dorothy Monday.